Well, almost ready to start doing the end caps. These are the caps that cover this up here. And I did it extra thick for wires, adjustments, anything I might need to do. Gotta do all three of them. It says approximately 4 hours to do one. Oh, here we go. I know, that light's bright. Should do a 5-layer brim. I kicked my overlap up to 25 from 15. I noticed my edges there's a little gap in them. So this should be the brim. Oop. There should be 5 lines. That should be plenty to start getting the filament heated up and going the way it should. So far, so good. We'll just watch that first layer go down. See if we get any lifting or if it does any better. I think I got everything tweaked now. And then we'll come back for the last couple of percent. Now it looks like we're done with the brim. And we're starting to build itself. You can see that little gap in there, I think. Hopefully you can see it. Now you'll notice over here where it's pushing into the tape and smeared. I raised this side of it up 1/2 millimeter because I kept getting that lift on this side. And it may have been too much. We'll see how it goes. I may end up having to stop this. That first layer might be an issue. I think I should have went 0.25 instead of 0.5. Now this first layer I am not going to kick the speed up. It's definitely pushing into the tape. Ouch. And I told it not to heat the first 5 layers, so you can see my fan is not on. I told it to not heat those first 5 because I want it to stick. Been having some issues with this corner. Trying to avoid that. I'm trying to find a good spot to put you. Definitely having some issue there. I lifted it up too much. I guesstimated 1 layer of tape to be about 2.5, and I put 2 on there. So I should have put just the 1. We'll let this get to at least the second layer and we'll see if it's doing anything. If not, I may have to reevaluate. See where the yellow definitely is. Well, of course it's going to come back over here now. And where the yellow is kind of smeared, where it's smeared is where I lifted it up obviously too much. Darn it. Well, still, it's only like I mean honestly it's like the third day I've been printing with it. I've only made a little spinner. This is the side that lifted on it. And then I made my, what do you want to call them? Filament holder things. And this is the side where it was laying down and it lifted up. And then this one. And the same there. And the exact same there. That's why I put that extra layer over here, because that's where it's been lifting. Hopefully we can get it to stick. But clearly 0.5 millimeter was too much. I don't really have any way of telling it to skip to the next layer and move up a height. Let's now finish that edge, I think. So it should start going pretty good. Talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying that first layer should basically smush into the tape. Well, it's smushed. When it gets up to that next layer, when it lifts up, well, I might wait for this third layer actually. When it gets up to the third layer, I might speed it up a bit. I'm trying to get you in there close, but I don't want it to hit the camera. There we go. And I kept the temp at 210. Other than that extra layer of tape on that far right side from you, or directly in front of you, I guess. Wouldn't change anything else. Come to think of it. I was looking at Thingiverse, and they got some different ideas for the power supply. I did get my LEDs in, by the way. I'll show you those real quick while we're waiting. They're actually a lot tinier than I thought they were going to be. But these go up to 32 volts. They're actually a lot better than I hoped. Now this one's open because I tested it. I only ran it up to 28 volts because I'm only going to be running 12 volts on this, maybe 14 on the bed heater. But I ran them up to 28, no issues of any kind. They're pretty tiny. I was thinking they were going to be a little bigger, but that's fine. Basically the power supply will be sitting on there. I'm only going to have 2. I don't see any reason to have 3. One for the voltage going to the bed, one for the voltage going to the bed heater. And I thought I ordered yellow to match my printer, but I got blue instead. Which is okay, because that actually matches my motherboard, and my display screen are all blue. That's fine. Alright, now it's doing the second layer. It's doing the outline, the shell. You're looking the wrong way. There you go. I did not double check the angles on these. The person who uploaded them said they were for specifically the AnyCubic Plus. And I'm going to take his word at it and print this first one. Not even going to question it. Now, before I print the second and or the third one, I will definitely be checking this, making sure it's the right the right angle and the right foot. He did have pictures of it up on his printer, and they look pretty good. Now this second layer that it's doing, as you can see, is laying down really good. It's not smearing into it now. As soon as it gets a little further, I'll peek it so you can see it. And I'm still afraid on that far corner, the one farthest from you, it might still be a little high. That's alright. That's why they invented sandpaper. And a quarter of a millimeter, I can sand that off. That won't be any issue. If I need to make it look pretty. I think here you can start seeing the lines going down. Of course, when I get over here, he wants to move over here. They look like they're laying down pretty good. She didn't see him. Really? It's juice on my camera. See him laying down pretty good. After this layer, because it's going pretty slow. I mean, it's fast compared to those little H printers, but I've only got it set to 30 for speed. I'm going to crank that up to about 100 on the next layer if this one doesn't have any issues and everything looks like it's sticking. So far, and this is the good side that I've never had a problem with, it's going down perfect. I did change the infill, come to think of it. I went from, I was at 25, I changed it down to 20. Still left it a little thick because these are going to be, hopefully, permanent parts that are going to be up top, and once they're on, I don't plan on ever taking them off unless something bad happens. Alright, now it's starting to do this edge over here that I got a little higher than I anticipated. Looks like it's laying down pretty good. It's only got a little bit there so far though. Trying to see that corner. Just have to wait on it. Most of what I'm saying you probably won't hear because I'm going to speed through it. I won't make you watch this line by line by line. Oh, there's another thing. My board went nuts. Now that used to freak me out. But then I realized that it actually completes the print, it knows what it's doing. I have no idea what this is all about. However, that does make it difficult for me to turn the speed up. Because if I can't see what I'm doing, now if I would have made note and knew what it was doing, I think it's the second click down, press, but I would just be guessing. Yeah, and then if I push it, it just goes out. Still wouldn't have made any difference. So yeah, some definite issues with the display screen. A friend of mine's screen, he says his does the same thing. It freaks out and prints nothing or shows nothing on it, and then it starts printing garbly gook. So that means that me kicking the speed up is probably not going to happen. Well, that sucks donkey turds. Still watching that print, and it is filling that corner in just as I hoped it would. I think just that first initial layer I had it, like I said, I had it a little bit too thick. So from here on, now you can see it, it laid down a very nice layer. and everything seems to be sticking. I did the overlap. I went from 15 to 25. And granted, we only have one layer down, so it's really hard to see. But I think it overlapped quite well. I pull this apart. Hopefully you can see, like right out on that edge, you can see a line. That line is what I'm trying to get rid of. Oh, there you can see it. That little line, that's the overlap. That's why I went from 15 to 25. So hopefully there'll be no line. Now this is where I would normally have kicked the speed up about 3 to 4 times what it is, going from 30 millimeters a second to 100 to 120. But my screen is not cooperating. Alright, well this is going to be a 4.5 hour build according to the Cura that I used. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'm not even going to speed you through it. I'll come back every so often and give you an update. We'll do this whole build I'll post. We'll go from what you've got so far all the way to the very end where I test fit. Any sanding I may have to do or any fitment. Make sure it fits. Make sure the angles are proper. But just eyeballing it, comparing it to my angles here, because they're the same angles, it looks, from what I can see, it looks perfect. And I'm happy with anything that's even close at this point. Like I said, this is honestly only about my 3rd day of printing. You know, you can see my little prints that I did here so far. So far, this is the biggest pieces I have made. This will be the next biggest. And I'm only on the 3rd layer that it's doing now, and it looks like absolutely everything is sticking. My little cube I did, I think you can see on this one, where is it? There's still some glue on it. And I think you can see that line there where I did not overlap enough. That's only 15. Still got some glue on it. Haven't done any cleanup. On the top you can see that shell and the infill. Like I said, I kicked that up another 10, so hopefully we'll see a big difference here in quality. And I think honestly on my next ones I'm going to kick the infill down even less. I dropped it down to 20. I think I'm going to drop it down to 15. The density of it. Do more of a honeycomb. Oh, I don't think I kept it. Well, you might be able to tell on this one. Yeah, you can see the honeycomb filling I was doing on this. I think on these I'm going to switch to that. This is a 15% fill. That's a 20% fill. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut there and we'll come back. Now here we are, we're about 30 minutes into it. My screen is still gobbledygooks, so I have no idea the percentage or what layer or anything we're on. But as you can clearly see, it is printing perfect. My fan, as you can see, is spinning. It did kick on right when the 6th layer started. Let's see if I can get you around over there. There's no lifting on this corner that I was worried about. That's the corner that always lifts on me. Everything looks nice. Go ahead and take you all the way around. Yeah, my hands are in the way. So yeah, and the infill, yeah, way too much. I need to drop that down even more. That is going to be a solid brick. But yeah, we're going to drop that infill Oh, we might even go down to like 10. Half of what it is would be more than enough. I just want to let you see where we're at. Nice crisp edges, nice layering, line by line infill. You know, for the most part, I'm still going over the whole printer of itself. I know that light's bright. My makeshift holder, since my filament reel is busted. Can't use my filament reels. Darn it. Thanks, FedEx. Anyway, but yeah, overall, as you can see, I'm ecstatic with this printer. Now you can see in here, I got this blue tape I put on there. It's in the shape of a square. That is because the particular build that I'm building pretty much fits it. I didn't see any reason to tape all the glass and go over everything, because this print doesn't take that much room. So no reason to waste tape. But yeah, it's coming out. Pretty much everything I can see is, I don't see any issues anywhere whatsoever. Now again, I went off the person's build print that he had on Thingsville, or Thingiverse. There it is, Thingiverse. So I'm not 100% positive it's going to fit. I don't know why it wouldn't. But we will be finding out. Actually, I just realized it started doing the layering for the inside where the cap's going to go, where the pulley, up here where the pulley sits. I just now started doing that. I think you might be able to see it better from here. Well, of course, it comes over to this edge. Really, dude? Okay, there it goes. And you can see the outline there. It's just starting to do it. Good. See this part right there in the middle is done. That's the final layer for that part. I would tell you what layer I'm on or what percentage I'm on, but my screen is just not cooperating at all. I just got nothing out of it. And it's doing a little infill there, right there, back and forth, as you can hear and see. And for as thick as that infill in is, I mean, they're like perfect layers. No overlapping, no melting, no gaps, no blobs of nothing. It's like absolutely perfect. And for the build that I'm in, for as new as I am, for as new as this printer is, I mean, it's not even broke in yet. I am completely happy with it. You know, the screen has a bit to be desired. I think I've mentioned that now. You can see it's an AnyCubic. It's the Plus version. So it's 300mm by 240. I think actually after I adjusted it, and I did put my linear rails as high as I could with the limit switch and not hit. I think I ended up actually at, I want to say it was 293.5-ish. So I'm about 7mm from 300. Now that's with these current mounts for the plate, for the bottom base. I have not got the heat bed on there, but I am going to be switching these out. There's another type I'm going to use that's going to sit down a little. The hot bed will go down a little lower, and then this will actually be almost on the rails. It'll be real close, and then it'll have the springs on each end, 2 on all 3 corners. And I don't know if I'll gain any space or if I'll actually lose some space. I would assume I'm going to lose a little bit, but you know, from what I've seen in the pictures and stuff, it sits a little lower, so I might gain maybe a millimeter, maybe 2. I wouldn't say much more than that. I might even lose a millimeter or 2 with the springs on it. We'll find out. So on the left hand side there, you can see it already did the left outline fill in. It's doing the right side. It's actually almost done with that. The middle part, I believe, is done. We'll wait for it to finish that edge over there. We got about 7 more lines, I think. I'm still just fascinated with the math with this. That it knows precisely where it is. Back and forth, moves over just enough for the width of the filament. It just knows where it's at. Just, like I said, whoever wrote the math on these, yeah, they deserve their pay. Now it's doing the outside edge. Now you can see that over there on the right hand side. And again, just no gaps, no blobs, no blurs, no smears. As far as I can tell, it looks perfect. And this is all stock, all the parts right out of the box. I made some little adjustments, you know, I used this instead of that plastic wrap crap stuff they had. I put heat shrink on the wires and tubes up here. I haven't sealed it or shrunk it down. I left it loose. It's just to protect the wires. Not that anything gets up there, but you know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know, if you want to call it wasting the heat shrink, I'd rather do that than have to splice wires, solder them back together. Fans are running cool. I would tell you the temp, but I can't. You know, this would have to be the one biggest negative. The other one is this button here. I've seen some others from like GearBest. They have a little button that goes in there. This is the emergency stop. Now, yeah, you could probably stick something in there. Yeah, I could probably stick that in there and I could stop it if I had to. But I think it should have a button. Oh yeah, glass is solid, bed's good, motors I've had 0 issues. I mean, they're... Well, that one's ice cold, but this one actually felt warm. Yeah, that motor is warm. This one's ice cold. And all 3 are moving the same. I wonder why this one's so warm. Yeah, the Y motor's cold. The Z motor isn't cold, but it isn't really warm. My X motor, that's actually kind of warm. Interesting. Well, yep, just letting you see where we're at so far. When we get closer to the top, or if I miss it because I don't know where the top is, I will come back definitely before we peel it off, show you what it looks like. We'll peel it. We'll have to pull that little brim off, or skirt. I'd call it a brim. But it is doing fabulous print. And again, that left side it's already done. It's just finishing up the right. I don't know if you can see it. Looks like it's got about 7/16 of a corner to go. Doing a damn good job. Actually, I do see one little thing, like right here in the corner. It didn't fill in like it did over here. Oh, as I say that, it just filled it in. Interesting. Yeah, okay, well it filled in now. That must have been just the end. They did that and came back over. Yeah, it's filled in now. Alright, well, never mind that. I'm just going to shut up and let it do its job. And I will be back when we get further on. I know it's going to get thicker on the edges here and make some walls. And then make the little lines that fit down in here, the little grooves that it snaps in with. When it starts doing those, we'll be back. Yep, 2 hours later my screen's still screwed up. And holy cow, when he said extra clearance, extra thick, I didn't realize he meant like a ½ inch. That is a whole lot more than I need, to be honest. As you can see, my clearance is just basically that little screw, and maybe for the belt and the wire for LEDs. I think I would have been better off with this version. I probably would have had all 3 done by now. So yeah, you can go ahead and download that one, because I think we're going to switch. The one I went to, let's see if I can find it real quick. There's the one with the filament holder. Don't need that. If you haven't seen Thingiverse, excellent place to get prints and ideas in general. I mean, if you need those, I mean, they got them too. Yeah, these are the extra thick ones I got. Holy bananas. That's what I'm printing out. See where we're at. If the hot end hadn't gotten away, there you go. So yeah, he needed a lot more clearance obviously than I did. He's running his wire through the 2 holes at the top. These holes right here, I was thinking it was like 3-4 millimeters, not a ½ inch, not 12 millimeters. You can see that in there. That's pretty deep. But hey, my own fault for not measuring, I guess. But yeah, I printed out. You can see it. I liked it. I collected it. I downloaded it. I'm printing it right now. Yeah, much more than I need. So let's go back to that one. Oh, not that far. Would work with me. Yeah, those are the extra ones. Okay. Let's just copy and paste that. Yeah, so there's these ones with these little screw things. Not too happy with them, but I think these here would have been the much better ones. Let's go ahead and like those, and I'm going to collect them. I already downloaded it. But yeah, that's the one that would have been just fine for what I'm doing. I'm still going to finish this one out, and I'm going to put it up top. Let you guys see it. Who knows, I might change my mind and build 2 more of them. I'm a third of the way there. But yeah, I don't think I need quite as much clearance as that's going to provide me. However, if I decide to mount something up in here, I would have the room. Maybe I can print 2 regular ones and put this big one in the back. And then run my LEDs or whatever. There's an idea. Huh. Put the smaller ones here in the front, the X and Y, and the Z one to be the big one. And whatever wires I may or may not use. I mean, there's no reason to waste the part. I mean, I can definitely use it. But it is a hefty little beast. I thought I cut my infill down to 15, and I might have went down to 5. Would be plenty. I mean, it's not like, well, no, I don't need anything this big. Maybe one of them. I don't know. We'll finish the printout. It's starting to do No, it's not. It hasn't built the little feet yet to go into the 20 by 20 extruded aluminum yet. It hasn't started on them. We're close. This has been about a 3-hour build. This is absolutely the longest, biggest, most material I put into any one part. As you can see, there's no lifting, no gaps, no tears, no smudges, no issues. As far as I can tell, it's pretty much a perfect print. And it's doing fabulous. The only issue I've found is my X motor is a little warm. I mean, it's not hot by any means, but it's warm. My Z and Y motors are not. My board's warm though. Yeah, that's the next thing. I need to get a fan under there to cool that board. I mean, driver boards are pretty cheap to get. You can get 5 of them, I think, for like 10 bucks. But I buy a fan for 10 bucks and never worry about them. One and done. Alright, well, I'm going to let this keep going, and when it starts getting these little feet built up, you know, they fit down in here into these grooves on either side, up top. When it's almost done with those, that's the last part. We'll come back, let it cool, try to pop it off. I know it's going to rip my tape, darn it. But anyway, I got to fix it anyway. I layered it too high over here. And we'll see what it looks like up there. Oh, starting to make the little grooves to go into the 220 by 220 extruded aluminum. These are fairly small, so I hope it goes fairly fast. It does the shell, or the outline of it, I guess. And then kind of fills it in very quickly. See that right there pretty easily, I hope. And it goes off over here. And the shell, now it's actually doing the inline, or infill. Kind of stops and hesitates on this side though. And back over here. Oh yeah, if you're wondering, yeah, my screen's still all boogered up. I was hoping it'd come back, so no, I never sped this up at all. It ran at 30 millimeters per second, the whole thing. And yes, this took about 4 hours. Holy bananas. Now this kind of does the back and forth infill. Now that time it kind of hesitated. It didn't stop per se. Kind of get you in close so you can see what that one looks like. Put you right on top. Hopefully no shadow. So this one has the back and forth, the infill, going the opposite of the long lines. This side, try to get you in there, does the long lines all the way through. Not sure why it's doing them differently, but hey, whatever. Gets the job done. Now, I don't know how long or how tall these are going to be. Hopefully fairly substantial though, because that's what holds it onto the top of the tower up there. And that's a pretty good chunk there that's going to be going on, so it's a big block of material. So those are going to have to be pretty substantial, I'm thinking, to hold on to everything. So this could take a while. just think it's fascinating on this side. It does that. Zip, 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 back and forth, fills it in. Jumps over here to the other side. And it just does the long fill all the way through. It's got a little squeak to it. I haven't figured out what that is yet. Oh, I guess it does a diagonal fill, not the back and forth. This one does the outline. Well, now this side's doing the long fill. I don't know how it decides and makes up all these informations and how it's going to do whatever it does. Only on this side is it squeaking. This one? Is it this one? Or is it this one? Honestly, I think it was all three of them squeaking. Oh no. Maybe I should put a little oil on it. Speaking of oil, I got this little oil or little filter G-dog in here for my filament. Put a couple drops of olive oil in there. Kind of cleans, lubricates the Bowden tube. Cat hair on it. Yes, I have cats. Yeah, you. Meow. And a muddy room. It rained today and the dogs are outside and it's really hard to get them to wipe their feet off when they come in. And I've been stuck here for 4 hours with this. I have to turn this every so often because FedEx broke my frame case for my filament. So I can't use my nice little filament holders. I still have to go sand them. They're not bad, but I'm still going to sand them, make them look pretty. Well, thought I'd let you see where we're at. I know you already skipped through this part. We'll come back when it's done and cooling. See if we can't get it to pop off there, and I guess it doesn't matter if it takes the tape off or not, because I'm going to have to change the tape because I made it too thick. Now it looks like it kind of rounded on that one, looking at it. Everywhere else, I mean, these are sharp corners. I mean, they're sharp. You can put an eye out with that. This is still warm, but it looks kind of rounded. The other side is nice and square. Now it just finished, so I'm not going to touch it. Oh. Interesting. Alright, we'll be back when it's completely done, and that head's gone up, and it's cooling. Gotta find out what that squeak is. And it's finally done. My screen, however, did not come back up. I had to power it off and back on. As you can see, we're still cooling down. We're at 109 and dropping. Alrighty then. So, no lifting of any kind that I can see. Now you can see that back side that I can't, because I can't get to that side. And that is a healthy, thick chunk. It is not wanting to come off. Nope. Now they did not send me a little putty knife or anything of any such. Let's see if I can get into this raft, or brim, or whatever you want to call this. And it's definitely stuck down. Trying not to cut into the tape. Yeah, I'm screwing that tape all up. Darn it. Yep, it doesn't not want to lift off. So, we get the knife. Oh, here's some lifting. Pretty sure we're lifting the tape up with it, which I was hoping not to do. Oh, now I'm turning the glass. Yeah, we're screwing that tape up. Not gonna crack the glass. Well, I'll tell you what, it is stuck. It's good. Well, since it's turning, well, that's as far as it wants to go. Alright, we're just going to take the tape off with it. This is the mess we ended up with. That tape stuck. Good job. That is obviously not where the tape is, but that is pretty damn smooth. I mean, obviously I have that thin layer of glue on there I have to peel, plus the brim. And that thing is shiny smooth. The edges. I mean, there's not a flaw in it. Other than the fact that it's like 3 times bigger than I thought it was going to be. Now, this is the whole point of it. Does it fit? Yes, I'm out of the lines. I'm just seeing if those fit down into those little parts. There's a little gap here, but I think that's, look, it's not flush, so that's my fault. I think this side it would fit better on. I'm actually planning on putting it in the back over there. So that's basically what it's for. Actually stuck on that one. But this is the one I'm actually going to be using it in. Kind of get the idea of it. Back there though. So it does have a little where you have to pop it in. This fits pretty flush. Give it a little thump, I think it'd lock in, but I need to clean it up, get that brim off there. All in all, pretty good. Didn't ask you. And then I showed you earlier, I'm going to put this in the back. I think I am going to use it there. And I'm going to print the two smaller ones for the front. Yes, I still need to trim my belt. I have not done that yet. Good grief. What is this world coming to? We're cooled down already. Go ahead and power that off. All in all, another successful build. I think even with the little mishap with the tape, I made this side a little too thick. Now I have to check my bed level because I moved the glass. Pull all this tape off. I did not mean to have to pull that off. I seriously meant to do all my builds for the end caps up top and on the bottom using that one layer of tape. Now I gotta clean up the glass, retape, reglue, print those other two, print the three that go down here around the belts. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think instead I am going to build the tray for the control board, the tunnel for the fan, mount a fan. I don't have one not in use, but it'll be a fan like that, a little 40 mil fan. Because I did notice some heat. Actually, this does come off. I want to feel those. Actually, they're not even warm. I guess they've had about 10-15 minutes to cool. Yeah, they're all cold. Huh. Alright, well, I'll have to reset all this. Also I'll realign my bed again, because calibrate it. When I do the motherboard frame that goes under there, these wires are going underneath. They were only there for starting out. But hey, you know, this is probably the last time that I really go over the printer itself. From here out, I'll probably just be talking about the prints. But AnyCubic, it's inexpensive. Not saying it's cheap, because they got a little price tag on them. Most 3D printers do. But for what I paid, for what it can do, for what it does, and how well it does. Now, I had a little issue with the firmware and getting connection, and you know, I was printing 50 millimeters in the air here. Once I got past that, and I think that took me like an afternoon, amazing printer. It does the business. Plus you can make your own parts after you peel the tape off, you know. Everything's solid. Better be. It took 12 meters of filament, approximate. I think it was like 11.9 or something like that. But yeah, I think the cooling fan, the board, the cooling tunnel, that way I know the board's safe. Like I said, I felt some heat over there. It could have been coming off this exhaust fan up here too. Come to think of it, could have been blowing out. May have been that, because it was on that side, but still, Just make me feel better. I'm going to do that next. And then the power supply, which is in its white box. I have to do that after. I'll go ahead and hook it up because I can perfectly use it now. It just won't have the LEDs and the nice little on-off switch and look pretty. And then I'll have some mounts of some sort over here that I'll mount on it. And then of course this little part, I don't know, I might come up with a whole new part that I print. Maybe I'll print the whole thing and somehow attach it over here to that tower. Kind of on the order of, you know, something like this. Just to hold that wire out of the way, not into the belt like it just was, but, you know, back here somewhere. Work in progress. But yeah, all in all, I'm 110% satisfied with this. Apparently my cat needs attention. What's wrong with you? What's this? That I can't quite reach. Oh, that was from earlier prints when it was dancing around and I was using that black stuff. Alright, babbled enough. Thank you. We'll be on to the... I guess I'll show you those when I print them. That'll be next. Thank you. I got that top one done. Haven't snapped it in yet. I'm actually waiting. I'm actually getting ready to print the smaller, lower profile ones for the front too. I'm going to wait till they get done just to make sure I don't change my mind or anything. All taped up, glued, gooeyed, warming up. Should actually be kicking up. There it goes. Just thinking about it. Right on the ground floor there. So it's going to start off with that outline. And yes, I am building a raft, even though I have it set for brim. I have no idea where it got that idea from, but hey, it actually works out. It makes it pretty easy to peel that off at the bottom. If I need to, I can sand it off a little bit. But I have been having the opposite issue now. Before I couldn't get it to stick. Now I can't get it to unstick. It wants to pull the tape, it wants to pull the glass, it wants to just take everything with it. So on this one, I didn't use as much tape. I left it at 0.25 instead of half a millimeter high. And looking at that first layer, we could probably still take a layer of tape off and be just fine. It's alright. What that also does is give us plenty of room so that if I wanted or needed to, I could just sand it off real quick and easy with some 80 grit sandpaper. I started off using 320 because I thought I wanted it smooth, but 320 just clogs up so fast it doesn't do anything. So I dropped down and down and down, got down to 80 grit. Can actually get somewhere with it. And it's still pretty damn smooth. So I'm happy with that. So as you should be able to see, the outline and the brimmer there. But like I said, I have it set for brim and it's actually doing a raft. The whole first layer peels off. Now this one was said it was about 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's 9:54 now. So I would say by 12:15 should be done. I have found it prints a little bit faster than what Kira says for whatever reason. Which is fine. I mean, faster is always fine as long as it does its job. So we are going to just let it print, and we'll be back in about 2 hours, unless something comes up notable that I'll let you know about. Thank you.